Have you ever heard you need to lift weights to build muscle? That's false. You don't. While adding heavier loads can help you create that progression and challenge your muscles to improve your muscle hypertrophy or muscle gains, you don't actually need weights to build some killer functional strength and get lean and strong. As long as you create that challenge in your workouts so your muscles have to adapt and grow to conquer what you're asking them to do, you're going to see results, whether that challenge involves adding weight or not. I bring this up because I got a number of questions on my weight training for fat loss video about whether or not it was possible to see amazing results from your training using just bodyweight moves. And the amazing answer is yes, you can see fabulous results just training with your own body weight. Whether you want to gain muscle just to gain muscle and strength, or you want to gain muscle to help with the fat loss process, increasing your metabolic rate, you can adjust other training variables and strategically design your bodyweight workouts to create progression. That's why I wanted to share some amazing ways to design your bodyweight workouts and use bodyweight moves to help you build muscle efficiently, whether you're training at home, training while on the road, or even just looking for a way to stay on track with your workouts and goals during the holidays. Just remember, when you're designing your workouts, you want to create that weekly schedule that you repeat as a progression for multiple weeks in a row. Randomly stringing things together isn't going to allow you to create that clear progression so you can actually see your results build. While you may get sore from constantly doing new things, and I know that can make you feel like you're getting results, you aren't creating that challenge that builds upon previous weeks to truly create that muscle growth. Have you ever just tried to get sore from your workouts?
I really can't say, but yes.
We need to stop seeking just to be sore from our workouts. Soreness really isn't an indicator that we worked hard enough or that we're gonna get better results faster. Honestly, just seeking to get sore from your workouts may be why you're not seeing the results that you want, and it may actually be hinting that something is off in your recovery or your nutrition. Once we start focusing on tracking our progress in our workout routines to see increases in our performance each and every session, we ultimately will see better muscle gains, be less sore, and even see our body composition improve overall. So if you're just training with your own body weight and you want to improve those muscle gains, start by adjusting your training density. Using training density workout designs, you can actually get better results faster with an efficient routine that fits your busy lifestyle. Now you may be thinking, what's training density? Training density is the volume of work in a specific time frame. You could change training density by adding in more volume, so more reps and sets of a move, or by adjusting the time frame for the work you have planned out. That's why density intervals and density sets can be great workout designs to use for bodyweight training. Both of these have time limits where your goal is to increase volume within those boundaries, doing more reps and sets while also using more challenging moves. Density intervals are intervals under 1 minute in length that can be laid out as compound sets, so moves back to back for an area before you rest, tri-sets or 3 moves done back to back before you rest, or even circuits. With density intervals to create more time under tension for a muscle group, you often want to work the same area in back-to-back intervals. So you might adjust tempos, ranges of motion, or even the type of moves you're doing to really target that specific muscle group in 2 different ways. You may want to do something like a bodyweight squat followed by pulse squats, or a wall sit followed by bodyweight squats. But you're creating more training density by increasing the amount of work you're doing for an area in a set amount of time, while using other training variables to create that challenge. With the density set design, you may set a time frame of work from 5 to 25 minutes and cycle through different moves in that time. You can focus on one area of the body or even alternate upper and lower or anterior and posterior movements based on your progression and specific goals for the workout. When you're doing an interval of 5 to 15 minutes, 1 to 3 moves per set works best. With sets over 20 minutes, you may consider 4 to 5 moves done back to back. When you do moves in a set that work the same area back to back, you'll find that an area will become more fatigued more quickly and cause you to have to modify as you go through over resting. Increasing your training density is a key way to create that challenge we need to grow muscle. However, we have to make sure that every rep is quality if we actually want results faster. Then whether you're using training density or any other workout design, you don't want to ignore the importance of other training variables to create that challenge to grow muscle. Adding weights is such an easy training variable to adjust, which is so often why we default back to it. But when you only have your own body weight to train with, you can be really creative in how you design the progression. You can play with tempos of moves, slowing them down, speeding them up, or even performing isometrics or holds. You can even use more than one tempo with a single move. You can slow down the lower down of a push-up, add in a push-up hold at the midpoint, or even speed up the movement, making it explosive and even leaving the ground at the top. Or you can combine a slow lower down, hold, and then quick press back up. You can change your base of support or the stability of a move, trying a unilateral variation or single-sided variation of a bilateral move or two-sided move, like a single arm plank over a basic high plank. You can even take this a step further, and instead of staying on one side in a unilateral move, you can alternate sides. So you could take that single arm plank and turn it into a plank with punch, so that you're actually having to work to avoid rotation. Slight adjustments can really impact what we feel working and the stability of a move. So even going from a two-legged squat to a split squat can make an impact. There's so many ways to create progression through slight changes to the basic movements. You can vary the range of motion in that split squat position, even performing a pulse squat instead of coming all the way up. Or you can place the back foot up on a bench for a balance lunge. You can even change how you increase the range of motion by putting your front foot up instead of your back foot for that split squat position. And not only are there so many other training variables you can adjust, but how you include these together in your workouts can really impact the results you get. Going back to those density intervals that I mentioned earlier, if you do a split squat and then a split squat pulse, that's going to be different than doing a split squat to a front lunge. But all of these are options so that you can create that challenge to build that lean muscle. We have to remember that creating progression isn't just doing one thing. It's about challenging our body even with the same but different. I like to think about how I can take that basic squat and change the range of motion, change the stability, change the tempos, all the different ways even within those variables I can combine them together to really get the results that I want. Using this list, you can then select the movement variation that matches your needs and goals for that workout or progression. You'll be amazed by how many ways you can actually challenge yourself with those basic bodyweight exercises and even have fun and keep your training fresh while doing so. And when you're sort of playing this game to adjust all the different training variables out there, think about not only including compound and hybrid movements to work more muscle groups at once, but also those isolation exercises to really target those stubborn areas. Because even with our bodyweight training, we want to use isolation moves strategically. Studies have shown that we get better results when we combine compound movements and isolation movements, especially for those stubborn areas. With compound moves, you're only as strong as your weakest link, which may prevent you from fully working an area as much as needed, especially when you're only training with body weight. With isolation moves, there's really only one link working, so you can make sure it's working to the max. When we don't have loads to progress movements or target specific muscle groups, it can be hard to find ways to use isolation moves that are also time efficient. Yet because we don't have those loads, it's also more important that we include isolation exercises to really hone in on those stubborn areas and create more time under tension for those muscles. They can help us fully fatigue areas to make sure we're actually challenging our muscles so they have to adapt and grow stronger. That's what leads to muscle hypertrophy. That's even why you might want to consider pairing an isolation exercise right after a compound movement for the same area to fully fatigue the muscle. While you've targeted those large muscle groups and more muscles with a more challenging compound move first, you can then hone in on any stubborn areas right after to fully fatigue the muscle with that more isolated exercise. Try, for instance, a get-up lunge to work your legs, then fully target your quads and isolate them with a lean back. Or do a regular push-up followed by a tricep push-up or dip off a bench to then isolate and further fatigue your triceps. You'll find that isolation move not only works that area more and you feel it fatigue, but you'll even feel the impact in subsequent rounds during the compound movement because that muscle will be more worked. Instead of just putting a burner at the end of your workout or an isolation set for an area, think about using the isolation moves as almost a way to post-exhaust an area during your workout. Or potentially for larger, stronger muscles like your glutes, even consider some pre-fatigue work, including isolation exercises before the compound move so you better feel that muscle engaging and fully working. The more we actually feel a muscle activate and work during our workout, the more we're going to be able to improve our muscle gains. These 3 tips are a great way to start improving your body weight training to see the muscle gaining results that you want. While it's so key we actually challenge our body in our workouts to force our muscles to adapt and grow stronger, we can't also ignore the importance of our diet when it comes to building muscle. I can't emphasize this enough, but it's so important that our fueling matches our training. Especially if we want to avoid gaining a ton of unwanted fat as we're gaining muscle, we need to focus on our calories and our macros and make sure they're actually dialed in to complement our workouts. I've included a link in the video description as a great next video to watch. Because while many of us have heard you can't gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, you actually can see amazing body recomposition results by dialing in your training while also focusing on your calories and macros. The best results happen when all of our systems work together. If you liked the video, make sure to like it, comment below if you have any questions, and subscribe. We're posting new videos each week.